Welcome to week 11 of the Japji Sahib series talk. Thank you to everyone for turning up. This week will be by Ranveer Singh. We haven't heard from him for a while, so it'd be good to go through his talk today. Just before we start, a bit of admin work. We've got the Japji Sahib course QR code here, so please can you scan that and join the community group. You get all the
parrot and the poem of a rishi. And the rishi's wife was asleep, and she was asleep with her mouth open. So the parrot went into the mouth of the rishi's wife, rishi being like a Sidh, ascetic being, and he went into the womb of this woman. And Shivji waited outside that house for a very, very long time. And then Narad Muni came to Shivji and asked, Shivji, what are you doing here? He said, I've got an enemy in that house. I'm waiting for him to come outside, and I'm going to kill him. And he said, how have you ended up with an enemy? How's your enemy ended up here? He goes, there was this parrot, and he listened to the immortal Gatha. He listened to the immortal discourse. And then Narad Muni said, what's the reward you get for listening to this immortal discourse, this Gatha? And Shivji said, you get immortality. So then he realized what had happened, that the parrot who listened to the Gatha was now immortal, and Shivji couldn't kill it. And from that, when it came for the time for that woman to give birth, because obviously the parrot was in the womb, from that parrot was born a very religious holy man called Sukadev. So again, similar to the Sakhi that by Gurjant Singh Ji said last week, listening to Katha, listening to any type of Naam, Bani, there's so much that we can gain. And in this Sakhi we see that we can gain immortality, and we can gain elevated positions of worth. Even if we don't get the fall, sometimes we think we've not got benefits from doing Bani, but if we don't get it in this life, we might get it in our next life, So before we discuss the teachings of Pauri 9, I thought it'd be good to just take a step back and think about what does it actually mean to listen? What does listening actually mean? And it's important that we understand what listening actually is, because in these next 4 Pauriya, so Bhai Gurjant Singh Ji went through the first Pauriya of 4 on the importance of listening, starting with Suniya. In those 4 Pauriya, does anyone know how many times Suniya, the word Suniya, comes up? Karanveer Singh. Say 3? 20, exactly. It comes up 20 times. So Maharaj is emphasizing the importance of listening to us, right? If they're saying Suniya so many times, they're emphasizing to us the importance of listening. But Suniya actually comes up once before these set of 4 Pauriya. The word Suniya comes up once before. Does anyone want to hazard a guess of what the Pankti is when it's said? Yes, Gavya, Suniya, Man Rakhiya Pao. So Maharaj has given us the teaching, Gavya, Suniya, Man Rakhiya Pao. So Maharaj is telling us sort of the stages. So Gavya obviously means to sing. Gavya means to sing. Suniya means to listen. And then Maharaj says Man means to accept it, Rakhiya Pao. So if we sing, then we listen, and then when we accept it, we gain that love for Maharaj. We gain that love, and we begin to be filled with love, and then we act on it. So listening isn't, so Bhai Jagraj Singh actually gave this analogy many times. So when a parent says to their child, you're not listening to me, they don't just mean you're not listening to me, you're not hearing me. There's more to that. What does a parent mean there? They mean, not only are you not hearing what I'm saying, but even if you are hearing what I'm saying, you're not listening and then stopping what I'm telling you not to do. You're still doing whatever you want to do. So Maharaj gives us the teaching that listening isn't just the state of hearing. And then for me, actually, when I was getting into Sikhi, I was reading a book, and anyone who knows me at least a little bit knows that I bang on about this book quite a lot. It's called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So sometimes it's cool to hear Gyan from worldly Gyanis, you can say, right? So there's this author called Stephen Covey, and there's 2 quotes that really hit me when I was getting into Sikhi, because at the end of the day, Maharaj's Bani is above everything. So they're not even in the same league. But when their message is corroborating or supporting the teachings that Guru Nanak Dev Ji has given us, it's quite cool to hear these things, I find. So a quote that I quite liked is that he says, most people listen with the intent to reply, not to understand. Oh, did I mess it up? I did. Most people do not, I said it in just the opposite way. So most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. So meaning, what lens are we actually listening to Katha in? What lens are we, when we're reading our part, are we actually reading our part or listening to Katha with the intent to understand that Katha? Or are we already so set in our ways that we listen to it, we might hear it, but we're going to do what we want to do anyway? So we need to open up. So there's an analogy given as well, that kirpa or blessings from Maharaj is like when you've got a bowl, and say the blessings are like raindrops. If the rain is dropping, the kirpa is happening, right? But if your bowl is the wrong way around, you're not going to get those blessings. So we need to open up the way the bowl is. We need to have the bowl the right way around to actually listen to Maharaj's teachings. Because if we listen to those teachings, then we can act on it. And on the point of acting, there's another quote that he shares, that to learn and not to do is not really to learn, and to know and not to do is not really to know. So we might hear something. Body's taking a picture, let me get out of it. So we might hear something, or if let's relate it to maths. We've got quite a few students here. If your teacher teaches you, your maths teacher teaches you how to do quadratic equations or something, yeah, and you learn it when you're there, but you don't go back and revise it. You don't practice it, and then you forget it. Then you've not really learned, have you? Learning is taking on that teaching and then acting upon it. So we've been here, I think, Manmohan Singh Ji said, for 11 weeks now. The teachings that we've received in these 11 weeks, the Sakya that we've heard of, like Sant Jarnail Singh Ji, or the Sakya of other Gurmukhs and Sants and the Sikhs in our Itihas, the teachings that we've got, are we just hearing those teachings, or are we listening to it? That's something I think we need to bear in mind. In the same way, the Sidhs, because like I said in that, I think it was the third Pauri, that some of the Sidhs were coming from a negative angle, Nikhir the Paka. They were asking Guru Nanak Dev Ji these questions, but they had no intent to learn. They weren't trying to understand. They were trying to just disprove Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So now we'll go into the 9th Pauri. So the Sidhs asked Guru Nanak Dev Ji again that we've actually learned about the 4 different Veds. We believe in our 3 demigods. We've got knowledge of these various different Hindu scriptures. Do we still need to listen to the teachings you're giving? Because we're quite on it like that actually. We're quite Gyan Nityanni. We know our stuff. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, he started off the 9th Pauri with Sunya, Isar, Barma, Ind. So by listening, Isar refers to Shivji, Barma refers to Brahma, and Ind refers to Indra. So Shivji, the first one, Isar, Shivji did tapasya. He did hard penance for 88,000 years. And as a result, he was given the boon, he was given the dhat, he was given the power of destroying. Brahma did tapasya for, I think, 10 lakh. I think, is that a million then? 10 lakh. He did tapasya for 1 million years. And then he was given the boon, the dhat of creation. And then Indra is the king of the demigods. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji is telling the Sidhs, these people that you respect, these people that you have satkar for, your 3 demigods, they've only got the positions that they have, and they've only got the power that they have because they listened to the name of God and they listened to the praises of WhyGuru Ji. And we can actually take this arth a little bit further as well. So what was the dhat or the power, the boon that I said that Shivji had? Japji. What power does Shivji have? To destroy. And what power does Brahma have, buddy? Create. And Indra, we said, is the king of the demigods. So, artha that we can take further is that by listening, Maharaj can destroy the quality of Shivji. He can destroy our Panchvikar, our Avgun meaning negative qualities, and Panchvikar meaning 5 vices. So Maharaj can destroy our 5 vices, and then he can create the boon of Brahma. He can create Shubgun inside of us. Shubgun meaning like supreme or good qualities. And Maharaj can create good qualities inside of us, like Sat, truth, Santokh, contentment, and all these different types of gyan that we sometimes do ardas for. By listening, we can obtain these. And Indra meaning the king of the demigods. By listening, we can attain the true master. Like the point I made earlier, we can attain liberation and joy with the true master, WhyGuru Ji. Maharaj then goes on to say, Sunaya Mukh Sala Hanmand. So by listening, people that are considered bad or low, so we have to do this back to front, mand meaning bad or low, by listening, people that are considered bad or low can become great and be praised. So mukh meaning great, salahan meaning praise. And I've got a little pop quiz, you can say, just to check how much you've been listening in the last 11 weeks. So, Sunaya Mukh Salahan Mand, we've given the arth, and I've chosen a couple, you could say, sinner to saints, sinners to saint. And I'm going to give you a clue. We'll see how many hints you need. There's 3 cues for each sinner to saint. I feel bad actually calling them that, but it actually turned out to be obviously Mahan, Gurmukhs and Gursikhs. So the first one was a thief. Anyone want to hazard a guess? That's probably too soon actually. We've done a few thieves. Met a Gursikh who then introduced him to Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Oh, this is the final one, so hopefully you get it now. He began reciting 21 Japji Sahibs every day. Say what I think? Yeah. Yeah. I'm so proud of Seva Singh. Oh, what's his name though? Okay. Seva Singh gave the description, so someone's got to get the name now. Anyone know the name? It was Bhai Lakhuji. So Bhai Lakhuji, this was in the first week of when we went through the Mahatma, the importance of Sri Japji Sahib. But Mataji's like, yeah, no, you didn't say it though. So Bhai Lakhuji in the first week was the Gursikh who began reciting 21 Japji Sahibs daily. And he obviously went, remember we said there's Pankti and Gurbani that show that he obviously attained Brahmgyan afterwards. So, yeah, a good example, I thought anyway. Another one. So this person was a murderer. He tried to murder Guru Nanak Dev Ji. No hands yet. And he listened to Kirtan and became an amazing Gursikh. I'll give a bonus hint. I think Bhai Manpreet Singh Ji did this, Sakhi. Dilip Singh. Sajjan Targ. Brilliant. Well done. So we've got, yeah, that's good. Okay. So there's another Sakhi related to this that I thought would be quite cool to share. This person was also a thief. His name was Balmik Ji. So Balmik Ji was a thief and he was actually of low social caste. And he spent his whole life just robbing people and then killing them. So one day he actually encountered some devotees, some devoted Sidhs. And they were very, they did a lot of tapasya and they were quite well respected. And Balmik Ji tried to rob all of them. And he said, give me everything you've got or I'm going to kill you. And then one of these Sidhs, they replied, they said, look, I've got nothing of any worth to you, to be honest. I've just got the clothes that I'm wearing and the kapra, the cloth on my head that I'm wearing. There's not really much of use to you. And Balmik Ji said, don't worry about that. My mum, she's got tackers with sewing and stuff. I'll make something out of these kapre, this cloth that you're going to give me. Just, shut your mouth. Give me whatever you've got, or I'm going to kill you. And then the sadhu said, this pap that you're doing, who are you actually doing this for? And Balmik Ji replied, I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for them. I'm doing this so I can earn a living for them and then provide for them. And the Sidh replied, the Mahatma replied, the devotee replied, that these people that you're doing this pap for, they're actually not going to support you at your time of death, at your end sama, when Dharam Raj comes, they're not going to be able to help you. So, and you keep accumulating all this pap. And this person said, no, they will be with me, trust me, they love me lots, all that stuff. And the sadhu said, alright then, go home, ask them, and then let me know what they say. We'll stay here. And Balmik Ji said, no, you're just trying to play me. You're trying to pull a fast one on me. You're going to go once if I go home. And they said, no, we've done a bhajan now. We've done, we've given our word. We'll stay here. So Balmik Ji went home and he asked his mum and dad, he said, look, this pap that I'm doing, these bad actions that I'm doing, when it comes to my, time of death, are you guys going to support me? And his mum and dad said, look, we've done our faraj, we've done our duty to you as a parent. We've looked after you, we've raised you. Now, your pop is your pop. That's got nothing to do with us. And he said, oh, all right, fair enough. And then he went to his wife, and he asked his wife, he said, look, this pop I'm doing, the robbing and stealing, murdering, I'm doing it for you and our kids. So when it's my time, are you going to support me? And she said, my father raised me, and then when he wedded me to you, when he married me off to you, you know, he done his duty, and then you were meant to look after me, but your pop is your pop. That's got nothing to do with me. I'm not, you know, if you're going to hell, that's your problem. You know, my pop is my pop, your pop is your pop. And then his kids said the same thing. His kids also. So these people that he had so much more with, so much attachment with, and he thought he's doing this for them, they all rejected him anyway, like the devotees said to him. So he returned back. Oh, I mean, yeah, family. So nice. So he returned back to the Sidhs, and the Sidh said to him, so what happened? What did your family say? And he went in the charan of those Sidhs. He asked for forgiveness. He said, please forgive me. You lot are right. My family, they're not going to be there for me. What am I going to do? Please forgive me. You know, keep your clothes. I'm not going to rob you. I'm not going to kill you, but just please save me. So, like we said before, and we've said many times, that these Sidhs, and you know, back in those days, you had to be of a certain caste or creed to be able to jap naam or have the right to jap naam. And these Sidhs, even though they wanted to help him, they wanted to do paropkar of him, they still couldn't give him the right job. So they gave him the job of Mara Mara, because they still wanted to help him. So can someone, or the whole Sangha, do it quite loudly though so the mic can hear it, can you do job of Mara Mara repeatedly? 3, 2, 1. Okay, well, brilliant. I feel like a composer at the, what's it? Yeah. So what does that become then, Mara Mara? What has that become when we kept repeating it like we just done now? Ram, 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 Ram. So he then did job of this for 12 years, Balmikji did. And through doing this, he obtained a very high spiritual level and became very well respected. And again, Sonia Muksala Hanmant, from going to someone who was considered very low, did low actions, was a murderer, was a thief, he's now very well respected. And at that time, the Sidhs or Brahmins or people, you know, in the village would conduct a jag meaning like a big langar, and they'd feed loads of different, you know, Brahmins and stuff. And and it was shown there's many Sakya that without Balmikji, their jugs that they did were incomplete. That was the power and the respect that he had. And through doing job for so long, and he wrote a granth called Balmiki Ramayan, and a lot of the prophecies that he wrote in there, these future prophecies, became true. So just showing again, Sunya Muksalahan Manda, that from going bad, you can then become very well respected, and people will praise you, and he's eternally praised even today. So the next Pangti, Sunya Yoga Jogatatan Ped. So Maharaj tells us, so the Sidhs, like we said again last week, the Sidhs were yogis. And like Gurjan Singh Ji said, a lot of people do yoga now, but yogi actually means union with God. So people would practice yogi as a way of trying to connect with God, and you know, the chakras and all the stuff that woke people talk about these days. So go on YouTube, you'll learn about it. I don't even know, to be honest, don't bother. But Maharaj is telling us, because we don't need to bother, Maharaj is telling us, Sunya Yoga Jogadatan Ped, that just by listening, the knowledge that these people think that they gain, and the penance that they do, the penance, Jog meaning penance, Jogata meaning partake, and Tan meaning body, the penance that they do and the weird positions they put their body in the attempt to realize God, Maharaj is telling us by listening, we can do that. We can obtain that knowledge, and we can gain knowledge of our body and realize that our body is actually temporary, and our soul is what's forever true and permanent. And our job is to, our goal is to merge our soul with WhyGuru and realize that our body is actually fake, is nasavant, is going to be destroyed. Then Maharaj tells us, Sunya Sastra Simrit Ved. So Maharaj tells us, so like the Sidhs were doing, like they asked Guru Maharaj that we've got knowledge of our different Veds and our different scriptures, the Sast and the Simritya. Do we still need to have knowledge of the teachings that you're giving us? Maharaj said that by listening, you can obtain knowledge of these different things, the 6 Shastras, the 27 Simritya, and the 4 Veds, the 4 Veds. Maharaj said that just by listening, you can obtain knowledge of these things, and you don't need to, because these were quite hard things to understand. You don't need to, study them for a very long time. Just by listening, you can obtain knowledge of these things. And a Sakhi that shows this is in the times of Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj. So in the times of Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj, the Brahmins were very annoyed. They were getting annoyed with Guru Amar Das Ji because Guru Amar Das Ji's teachings were obviously were contradictory to what, or they were disadvantageous to these Brahmins of high social standing, right? Because we feed langar to everybody. So that was one thing that annoyed them. Like, they obviously have that exclusivity that not everyone is worthy of naam or worthy of langar and sitting in pangat, sitting together in langar. And they also didn't like that Guru Amar Das Ji we've got the Gur Mantar and the Sikhi teachings and the mantras that we jap. They felt aggrieved that these Guru Amar Das Ji isn't even paying respect to our mantar, our Gayatri mantar, these different things that we believe in. They're not even talking about those. So they complained to Akbar, and Akbar asked Guru Amar Das Ji to come to their darbar, come to the court. So Guru Amar Das Ji sent Guru Ram Das Ji. Obviously this was before Guru Ram Das Ji was given the Gur Gaddi. So Guru Amar Das Ji sent Guru Ram Das Ji, and Guru Ram Das Ji said, Maharaj, I've got no knowledge of these things. The 4 Veds, the various Simritya, and all these things, these difficult scriptures. I have no knowledge of these things. All I know is your Prema Bhakti. All I know how to do, or what to do, is your loving devotion. So if I go there, I don't want to do your besti. And look, this is quite an important thing to note as well. Guru Ram Das Ji wasn't worried about embarrassing themselves. I come here every 4 weeks and I think, I'm going to embarrass myself. I don't think, I'm going to embarrass Maharaj. You don't do disservice to Maharaj's Bani. But he had that lens, that drishti, that Maharaj, I don't want to put a kalang, put a stain on your name or embarrass you. But Guru Amar Das Ji said, look, don't panic. Go to Akbar's darbar and recite a Mool Mantar. And when you open your eyes and you look to your right hand, all these different scriptures that they're going to talk about, the Gayatri Mantar, and the different questions that they're going to pose to you, you're going to have answers to all of them. So Guru Ram Das Ji manned the button, and he went to Akbar's court. And then Akbar said to the Brahman, go on then, you had all these complaints. Ask Guru Ram Das Ji now. Ask Guru Ram Das Ji and pose the questions. And again they said, look, Guru Amar Das Ji's teachings they go against us. You don't even talk about our Gayatri Mantar. Do you know what the Gayatri Mantar is? You're not paying any respect to us. And at that time, and they posed these different questions to Guru Ram Das Ji. And Guru Ram Das Ji then went on to do katha, do arths of the Gayatri Mantar that they kept banging on about. And he went, and each question that they asked them about their scriptures and their teachings, Guru Ram Das Ji answered them so even better than the people who wrote these granths. So they silenced them, essentially Guru Ram Das Ji put them in their place. And then Guru Ram Das Ji went on to recite Oankar. They said Oankar, and everything went still. Everything went silent. The Sidhs that were there, the Brahmins that were there, they felt ashamed as well, because they were put in their place, and they realized that Guru Ram Das Ji is the truth. And Akbar also, he was amazed at the teachings that Guru Ram Das Ji shared, and the fact that Guru Ram Das Ji was able to explain all these things. They asked him about the Gayatri Mantar, and then explained all these different things and answered the questions that the Brahmins were complaining about. So Akbar was amazed, and he actually did beinti to Guru Ram Das Ji that, these teachings that you've shared are so beautiful, so amazing. Please do this across the world. Go to the different tirths and ask Guru Amar Das Ji if they can go around and spread this Sikhi and spread these teachings. And that is what happened as well. Guru Amar Das Ji went on a Tirath Yatra. They went on a pilgrimage yatra trip, I don't know. They went to these different pilgrimages, visited them, and they saved humanity. They purified those tirthas as well, and they saved humanity and continue to share those beautiful teachings. So again, just highlighting the point, therefore, that Suniya, Sast, Simrit Ved, even though in that sense Guru Ram Das Ji didn't have knowledge of those different granths and stuff because they didn't study it, just like that with Maharaj's Kirpa, by listening to Maharaj's bhajan, Maharaj told them, look, go, don't worry, you'll be able to do it, you'll be able to answer all the questions that the Brahmans have. And that's exactly what happened. Guru Ram Das Ji listened to Maharaj's bhajan, they recited Mool Mantra, listened to the Mool Mantra, and they were able to do arts of the Gayatri Mantra and put those Brahmans in their place. And then there's a Pankti also relating to this. Bahu Sastra Bahu Simriti Pekhe Sarabir Tandol Puja Sanahi Har Hare Nanak Naam Amol. So Maharaj is telling us, I think this is Guru Arjan Dev Ji's Bani, that Guru Arjan Dev Ji has seen all the different types of Sastra, Simritiyan, the different Veds, but Maharaj is saying Nanak Naam Amol, that none of those things even come close to Maharaj's Naam. And by listening to Maharaj's Naam, we can gain all those things and gain knowledge of those different things anyway. So Maharaj's Naam is way above those things, and by listening to them, we can gain knowledge of everything. So the final two Panktiya of this Pauri, same as last week, Nanaka Bhagata Sada Vikas. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji states that their devotees, their Bhagats or Bhagata meaning Bhagats, or you could say saints, they forever remain in bliss. And there's so many Sakya that show this, so many Shahidiyah as well, where we've seen that Gursikhs and people in our Ityas, they didn't waver, even in the face of death, because by listening they obtained that avastha, they obtained that level where they forever remained in bliss. And a Sakhi that shows this, and quite contemporary, you could say, or relatable at this time, because everyone's celebrating Holla Mahalla, or celebrating Holla Mahalla, is the Sakhi of Bhagat Prahladaji and Harnakash. So Bhagat Prahladaji was a devotee, he was a Bhagat, and he was the son of a demonic king called Harnakash. But Harnakash, similar to like the demigods that I mentioned earlier, he had also done tapasya, he'd done penance for a very, very long time. I think it's like million years or many ages. He did tapasya for ages basically. And he was given the boon, he was given the dart as a result of his tapasya. Once he was at the end of his tapasya, Brahma came to him and said, Harnakash, what would you like? For this hard penance that you've done, what would you like to be given? And Harnakash essentially asked for immortality, because he said, I want to be given the gifts that I can't be killed in day or night. I can't be killed by a human, and I can't be killed by any weapon. And there's a few other things in that criteria, but those are the main three that we'll stick with now. So he asked for those things, and he was given those boons. He was given that. But now Harnakash's problem with Prahlad was a Bhagat he was a devotee of Ram, and he would only do job of Ram. But Harnakash became so egotistical once he was given these boons that he thought he was God basically. And people were so scared of him because of the powers that he now possessed that everyone would do job of Harnakash, because they were just out of fear of Harnakash. But Prahlad wouldn't. Prahlad would still do job of Ram. So Harnakash asked his son, what are you playing at? What are you doing? The whole dunya, the whole world is doing job of my name. Why are you doing job of Ram? And Bhagat Prahladaji responded to his dad. He said, Dad, these powers that you've got, the boons that you've been given and the power that you've obtained now, you only got those because God granted them to you. After you did Bhagati, you did tapasya for however X amount of years, that's why you was given the boon, and you was given that boon by God. So God is obviously above you, so why should I do job of you when you're lower than God? Which made Harnakash obviously even angrier. So as a result, Harnakash tried many assassination attempts on his son Bhagat Prahladaji. And the one that we're going to focus on today, so there were many assassination attempts before he did this one. This one, his sister, so Prahlad's paternal aunt, Harnakesh gave her certain powers, and he said, look, what you need to do is, I'm going to give you a cloak, and you're going to wrap this around you, and this cloak is essentially fireproof. So, because you have the cloak around you, you won't burn, but you need to trick Bhagat Prahladaji to sit on your lap, and then sit on this pyre, and then we're going to light the pyre on fire, and then you'll be saved, and Prahlad will burn. But what actually happened was, so in the many different assassination attempts as well, Maharaj somehow would save Bhagat Prahladaji. And again, in this attempt as well, what happened was the pyre was lit, but Holika was set on fire, and Bhagat Prahladaji was just laughing, and he walked out of the fire, but Holika turned into ashes, and she died. So again, Prahlad was saved. But on the final assassination attempt, Harnakesh tied Bhagat Prahladaji to a pole, and he was sort of taunting Bhagat Prahladaji. He said, "Where's your Ram now? You're going to die now. You're finished. Where's the Ram now?" And Bhagat Prahladaji said, "Ram is always with me." And Harnakesh said, "Are you ready? Are you ready to die now?" And Bhagat Prahladaji said, "I'm not going to die. You're going to die." And Harnakesh again got even angrier. And then when Harnakesh was going to try and kill Bhagat Prahladaji, Vishnu took form in the form of Narsingh, and Narsingh, as you can see, is half man, half lion. And then what were the three things that we focused on, that we said, the boons that were given, in which the circumstances or criteria in which Harnakesh can't be killed? What three things? Just say, yeah, Jap. Yeah, that was a bonus one. You're just showing off your knowledge now. And that's a good one as well, because like you can see in the picture, Harnakesh is sitting on Narsingh's lap. So, like he said, he can't be killed on ground. Harnakesh was placed on Narsingh's laps. So that's a fourth one. What about the other three we said earlier? What conditions could he not be killed in? Hanji Singh? Yeah, can't be killed in day or night. So this happened in the time, I think, is it called twilight? It was neither day or night. Hanji, another one. He can't be killed by a human yet. So Narsingh was half man, half lion. And the last one we said? He can't be killed by a weapon. So like you can see here, in this probably an 18 plus picture actually, probably should have asked for parental consent. He was actually killed by the claws of Narsingh. So he wasn't killed by a weapon either. So this also is quite important to note as well, because it shows that even then Maharaj stays in the hukum. Harnakesh was given these boons, but they still didn't overwrite the gifts he was given. They didn't, just say, no, veto, sorry mate, you didn't act as part of the laws, so we can cancel it. They still stayed within hukum. They stayed within the command or the will of God, and made sure that those boons that he received were still, upheld or weren't breached, but he was still killed. And it also shows again, Nanak Bhagata Sadavagas, that Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji states that their Bhagats, they remain in bliss always. And we read in Raira Sahib Ji every day, Har Jog Jog Bhagata Upaya, Paj Rakhada Aya Ram Raje, Har Nakasa Doshta Har Marya, Prahladataraya. So each day when we read Rairas, we should remember this Sakhi, that Maharaj protects their Bhagats or their saints, those that have true Prema Bhagati for Maharaj, like Bhagat Prahladaji, who didn't waver even in the face of death at the many different assassination attempts. He didn't waver. And again it shows that Maharaj saves his Bhagats. Those Bhagats of Maharaj will not only protect them, but he will also protect their honor, like he did for Bhagat Prahladaji. And then the last Pangati, Sunya Dukh Papaka Nas. So Maharaj is saying that by listening, our dukh, our pains, our pap, our sins can be erased just by listening. And by Gurcharan Singh Ji shared the Sakhi last week, because sometimes we might think, no, that's a bit far-fetched. Even our physical rogs, our physical diseases, can they be eliminated just by listening to Maharaj's name or the praises of Maharaj? But we can, and the Sakhi that by Gurcharan Singh Ji showed that. And but that doesn't mean it's always going to happen. Obviously, it's within Maharaj's hukum and Maharaj's will. But it's to not say that it can't happen. because Maharaj can do anything. So Sunya Duk Bab Kanas, another Sakya that I thought would be quite cool to share, because when we hear the Sakya in Itihas or in history, we think, no, we sort of have a mythical doubt to it. We think, no, that's just like, an urban myth sort of thing, it's just fiction. But a cool story that we heard, so 15 of us just went to India now when we returned, but last year we went to India again. This isn't a picture of us, just from Google. And so we went on a yatra last year, and we went to Sri Harmandir Sahib. And one of the things that we went with, he was actually struggling with like his skin. He had like quite bad skin problems. So we'd done Ishnan by the Dokpanjani Bedi, the Dokpanjani tree, which is located as you come out of Langar. Yeah, straight down. So we were doing Ishnan, and one of the peradars or the security guards, no, security is probably not the right word, sevadars. One of the sevadars that was there asked us, he said, what's happening? And he noticed that one of the things had quite bad skin. And he said, what's up with that thing? Not in those words, obviously. And I said, he's just got bad skin. He's got bad eczema, and obviously we've done Ishnan here, we've done Ardas as well. I'm just hoping, hoping he gets better. And he said, look, this is minor. This skin problem that you're saying, we know someone who quite recently, there was a mother who had a very serious illness. It was actually a terminal illness, and the doctors had told her, you've not got much time left. And he said that this Bibi actually was from Australia, and she would come every morning to do seva. She would do selfless service around the sarovar. So she would help, clean the sarovar, or then, the water that's surrounding the sarovar. Yeah, I'm not going to translate it. So she would help tidy up, essentially, right? And he said that this Bibi would do this every day for 2 weeks with her and her young daughter. And every day they'd listen to the Sukhmani Sahib, which was around 2-3 a.m. So every day she was doing that for 2-3 weeks, not easy to do. And he told us that Bibi who was given, the red light by the doctors and told that you've not got much time to live, she actually was ridded of her illness and survived. So it just shows again, like we said earlier in the course, we can't put limits on WhyGuru. The Sidhs tried and they failed. WhyGuru's power, the power that they possess is beyond. There's nothing that WhyGuru can't do. They can do anything. And Sunya Duk Bab Ganas, like that Bibi who's listening to the Kirtan, doing seva, listening to Maharaj's Naam and the praises of God, she was ridded of her disease. And that's a contemporary story. It's not something like, in ages ago, and we think, no, I can't, that's hard to comprehend. This is like, what motive did that Sevadar have to lie? Huh? And that is the end of this week's talk, the 9th body. So just to recap, we went through the importance. So we also did the recap of listening. So we talked about what actually is listening. Sravan, Manan, Nindyasan. Sravan means to listen, Manan means to accept, and then Nindyasan means to do. Gavya, Sunya, Manarakhya, Pao. We said we listen, we sing, we listen, and then once we truly listen, we accept it, and then Rakhya Pao, we develop that love, and then we act on that love, and we change, and we improve our jivan, we improve our lives. We talked about the Mahatma of listening, so the importance, the power of listening. These different people that obtained so much from listening, that even, not just the demigods, but the Gursikhs who listen to Maharaj's bhajans. There's so much we can gain from listening, and the things that the Sidhs were doing, these different things that they were partaking in, thinking that will give them power or give them realization of their body or their soul. We can obtain the knowledge of all these different things and these powers, and more importantly, we can obtain liberation and join with God through listening. We talked about sinners to saints, so the different Sakya that we shared, not just this week, but in the weeks prior, showing that there were so many Sunya and Muksala and Mand, that is from by listening, people that are considered bad or considered low, then begin to be praised and can become great, like Balmiki Sakhi that we shared today. Self-realization, like I said earlier, the Sidhs were doing all these different latite, arm here, doing different difficult types of penance in the hope of realizing their body. And Maharaj said, no, just by listening, we can gain knowledge of these things. We don't have to do these hard, different types of penance. And the destroyer of sins and pain. So we ended with the teaching now, Suniya Dukh Bhav Ka Nas, that by listening, Maharaj can rid us not just of our sins, but our different pains, both physically and spiritually. Maharaj can save us and protect their bhagats. That is the end of the talk. Like I say, I think I've done 2 talks previously. We've been familiar faces again. Maharaj Kirpa, really nice to see. But just make sure we're truly listening. We're listening, and truly listening means that we then take on the bhajans, we man it, and then we act on it. So the teachings that are given, including myself, Maharaj Kirpa Kam, that we all can continue to do vichar and discuss the teachings of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji during this course, and can use them to improve our jivan, improve our lives. And each week, let's try to do something that improves our Sikhi. Bol chuk maaf karo, WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh. Any questions? I don't know if there's any on the. Oh, yeah. Wicked question. No, that's not a silly question. That's an amazing question. So the question was, what does it mean listening to what? You were saying, are we listening to Bani, Katha, Part? What? So you're asking what is Nam?
What are we listening to? Is it Nam or the teachings? In reference to the Japji side?
Would you say they're separate?
No, I would say the same thing.
Yeah, I think they're the same as well. So I think listening again, Nam is just so vast as well that we can't even put a limit to that. So listening, in my answer to your question, would be anything that is related to WhyGuru Ji and is related to Nam. So that can be Katha, that can be Part, that can be anything really, I think. We get teaching Sakya is a Nam as well. Listening to any of those. Like the Sakhi last week, the Gursikh who had leprosy, he listened to Kirtan and he was saved. We've shared one Sakhi today and one Sakhi last week, that the different animals that listened to Katha and obtained so many benefits, they listened to that. Does that help answer?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Anything online on the... Oh, save a thing. Okay. This is going to be hard. His IQ is like way above my pay grade. Hanji.
I don't think it's that hard, but like, say you're listening to Katha in Punjabi,
Yeah.
and like you don't understand Punjabi, does that still have benefits?
Well, I think 100%. I think so. There's the Sakhi, I think in Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji's time, of the pot, the clay pot, and the point of that Sakhi is that even if you don't understand, for not just Katha, we can even relate that to Part, because we quite often hear this question as well. If I don't understand Part, am I going to get any benefits from it? If I don't understand Nitnem or any Bani, but I listen to it, am I going to gain benefits? And the answer is 100%. 100%, because even if we don't understand it, that Naam, that Bani is still going to affect us inside, and it's going to purify us. Suniya har katha, was it? Utari mer? Sun har katha, utari mer. So by listening to katha, we are ridded of the dirt, the male inside us, not just in this life, but in previous lives. But then again, on Suniya means to truly listen. So you do need to, but you get more fal from understanding, essentially. But even if you don't understand, you're still getting fal. 100%. Yeah, and just listen to English katha. What are you doing? But disclaimer. Also, listen to Punjabi katha and start to understand Punjabi. This is just the start. This is a base level. And on that point, not just, we can't become reliant on just English katha and listening to English, because then we're going to lose Gurmukhi. We're not going to, the scripture that Guru Sahib Ji has written, Bani, and we need to learn Gurmukhi. We need to take Santhya, go to Santhya. I didn't go today, so I'm going to get in trouble. But yeah, so you need to do Santhya as well. So don't just become dependent on English katha, because there's certain words in English that I struggle every time I'm up here trying to translate something from Punjabi to English. So, and there's certain words that can't be translated. So the ras that we're going to get, or the meaning that you're going to get from hearing something in Punjabi, can't always be translated in English. Any other questions? Hanji Panji. Oh, do you want to wait? Otherwise I'm going to have to repeat it. Sorry.
it's just more from personal experience.
Okay.
So for so many years, I used to actually like read Gurbani and do my part that way, and then some bibbi came up to me and told me that sometimes if your pronunciation isn't right, then you could be going the opposite way rather than, you know, trying to be a saint. So then I've sort of changed it and started to listen to Bani that way. So is there a real difference in between listening and reading, and if so, which one is kind of better to get the full, I guess?
So, really good question. So this question, I've not got any gyan. I'm repeating stuff I've heard. So one of our stars, the founders of Nihang Santhya, so we have lessons here Tuesdays and Sundays, Ustad Jitinder Singh, he's done a really good video. We'll share it in the community thing about the question is the importance of Santhya. And he said, when we listen to something or when we listen to part, our mind is more likely to wander. Because when we're listening, as opposed to reading, when you're reading and you've done Santhya, you're paying attention to each letter. You're paying attention to each sound as well, the vowels that are there. So because you have to consciously make an effort, your mind is working harder, so you consciously have to read. But if you're just listening, but then you're going for a walk and you'll be, oh, that tree looks nice, or oh, Tesco's there, I do need some more milk, you're more likely for your mind to wander, right? But again, you're still going to get far from listening. But if you're reading and you're reading with full dhyan, I think you're more likely to get more benefit. Is that, yeah, to you? Does that? We'll share that video as well because they explain it way better than I can, and it's a really, really good video. And hopefully it will inspire some of us to take Santhya or learn Santhya. Oh man. It's like when you face the big boss in like a video game.
This is actually from the Sangat.
Oh.
How can we overcome fear of death?
How can you overcome fear of death?
Yes, that was a question from the Sangat.
I think the important thing to realize is that, so Maryada means to remember death. But in the Western side of things, or not even just a Western thing, like my mum, for example, when she hears death, she shivers and she gets proper scared. But we need to remember that death, we need to remember death and realize that death could come at any moment. And there's a Sakhi of Bhai Balaji, Bhai Mardana Ji and Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji asked the Gursikhs, how close is death? And I forgot which one, but one of them replied, Maharaj, death is so close that when I fall asleep, I don't know if I'm going to wake up the next day. And the other Gursikh, either Bhai Balaji or Bhai Mardana Ji, he said that I can close my eyes, and by the moment I open my eyes, I could be dead. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, oh, you're so naive. Death is so close that we don't know if we're going to get the next breath. Hum aadmi haan ekdami maholat maut na jana. Maharaj says that death is so close, we don't know if we're going to get our next breath. That's how close death is. So to overcome the fear of death, we've got to realize that death is really close, and it can come at any moment, and we need to realize, because then that will inspire us to make most of each minute, every second that we're living, and making sure that we're using our time, the limited time that we have, because we're here on borrowed breath, you can say. We've got limited swas, limited breaths. So if we have that mentality and we look at life in that lens, we're less likely to fear death, because it's a certainty.
Just to add briefly to that as well, in 30 seconds, that was a great answer. Like VG saying about understanding death, one of the best ways to do that is in Sadhsang, because I guess for us, we embrace death, we speak about death. In most cases, traditionally, Punjabi families, death is never spoken about. But if you look in Siddhi Sukhmani Sahib, Guru Sahib says, Jeko janam marante dare, sadh jana ki sar nahi pade. If somebody is afraid of death, Jeko janam marante dare means fear. He says, sadh jana ki sar nahi pade. Come into Sadh Sangat and you lose that fear of death, because here we start to understand what is death. And like Bhagat Kabirji, they say ke jis marne te jag dare mere man anand. They say that the fear that everybody has of death, that fear that everybody is afraid of, that is bliss to my mind. So understanding what are we trying to kill, it's killing the ego, realizing that I am not this body. This body is gonna go, this mind is gonna go, but there's something inside me that is much more than what I think I am. I am not what I think I am much more than that. So understanding death, what is dying? this inside me, the true state of me cannot die. This whole, wherever these layers, that is gonna go. Right? Last question that came from the Sangat. What is Santhya? Because you kept saying this word Santhya, and nobody knows what Santhya is. And it's on Tuesdays and Sundays. But what's happening on Tuesdays and Sundays, bro?
Come on Tuesday and Sunday and you find out. No, I'm joking. Santhya is the authentic teachings of Gurmukhi. Gurmukhi is a scripture that Guru Granth Sahib Ji is written in, and through learning Santhya and attending Santhya classes, you learn how to read and write the authentic teachings of Gurbani, Gurmukhi. And that's actually, I think, on the back of the Nahang Santhya hoodies. So, or the old ones anyway. So yeah, that's Santhya.
That's fine. Thank you so much, bro. Oh, save us another question. Shy out.
You can ask me in the car. Go on.
You know how like people they were doing like whatever million years of penance were?
Yeah.
How did they like not die?
Repeat the question, please.
So Seva Singh asked a very good question. He asked that, like Harnakash, we said that he did tapasya, he did penance for like millions of years. He said, how is that even possible? So the Sidhs and these other demigods and these ascetic beings, they had tricks to elongate their lifespan. So one thing that they would do, they would hold their breath in their dasam dwar, because like I said, you get limited breaths. They would hold their breaths in their dasam dwar, and then they were able to live longer. That's one answer. Is there another answer?
The answer is correct. And just to add to that, if you look at the Sakhi of Harnakash that Viji spoke about, that's from Satyug. So there's 4 ages. When Kaljug, the last age, Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kaljug, and this comes in Pai Gurudashi's Bani as well. So in Satyug, people live for longer. Right? So right now, the average age is like, what, 80 years? 100 years? Oh, what happened? But in Satyug, people live for thousands of years. Right? So that was the norm. And each time the yug changed, the age, the average age got less. Right? So in those ages, people naturally lived for thousands of years. It was the norm, right? But now we don't live for that long. Yeah.
Just adding to that, actually, because I forgot in my presentation. So when Guru Nanak Dev Ji gave the Siddhs the teachings about Nanak Bhagat Sadavagas, that the Bhagats always remain in bliss, and like Bhagat Prahalad Ji, he didn't waver in the face of death, and Maharaj protected him. The Siddhs asked Guru Nanak Dev Ji, but that was in Satyug. But we're in Kaljug now, is that still true? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, yes, the Bhagats will always be protected by God, no matter what the Jug is, well, no matter what age we're in. So even in this age, that remains true.
I think we should finish off because it's getting quite late. Thank you so much, Rovi Singh, Guru Kirpa. That was an amazing talk and good Q&A as well. So thank you so much for the Sangat for coming as well. We'll just do 5 minutes of Kirtan to finish off. So please don't run away. Stay seated. Right, just for 5 minutes. And then afterwards we're going to do Sohela Sahib, Sukha Sindhi Seva. And then we're going to go with Guru Sahib Ji down to Sachkhand. So again, turn out. Again, let your friends and your family know about this course as well, and hopefully we can keep this going to the end of the year. So please go any mistakes made. WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh.
WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh. WhyGuru, 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 WhyGuru. WhyGuru, एक अरदास पाठ कीरत की गुरु रामदास राखो सरनाई। एक अरदास पाठ कीरत की गुरु रामदास राखो सरनाई। पानी पिता माता तरत महत दिवस रात दोय दाई दाया खेल सगल जगत। चंगियाइया बुराइया वच धर्म दूर करमी आपो अपनी केने रह के दूर। जिनी नाम ते आया सकत काल नानक ते मुख उजले केती छुट्टी नाल। जिनी नाम ते आया गए मसकत काल नानक ते मुख उजले केती